you mentioned this being a bit of a moment for Luxon, and
Yeah.
I come back to think about the amount of time that he has spent outside of New Zealand.
Mm.
And I mean, this seems to be just something that seems self-evident and obvious to me, that the Māori King passing is an important moment.
Yeah.
Whereas everything that Luxon has had, he's had Māori culture through the lens of marketing. He's had Māori culture through the lens of, this is a political football that I can play. The Māori are a problem to solve. I hope you're right. I hope that this is a moment where he actually has some reflection, that it's not the two-dimensional idea he has in his head of what Māori is.
You know, interestingly enough, I think we'll look back on this moment in history as the moment that the tide turned on race relations in Aotearoa. It was going in a specific direction. So also on the pie with me this afternoon were mayors of a lot of the central North Island councils, local government, many of whom have already now passed, to retain their Māori wards and so on and so forth. I actually honestly think that New Zealanders have a bad feeling in their gut when it comes to the way that the Māori issue is being pursued by this current government, particularly the National Party members who have voted for the coalition, who will be thinking, well, hang on, with the likes of Sir Doug Graham and Sir Don McKinnon and Dame Jenny Shipley, mind you could have had a Mainzeal board meeting with the number of people there. They certainly had a quorum, but I think New Zealanders are tired of this now, and this is that watershed moment. Particularly given the fact that this is not something you learn in middle management school. Yeah. You don't learn how to deal with the cultural issues or the nuances of politics in a way that has been thrust upon them. You know what? I tend to now think it's actually relatively straightforward to become a prime minister or a political leader. It's harder to nuance yourself into the relationships that create the complexity of nationhood. And I honestly think that they've missed the boat on what it does to create nationhood. And what's that? Because you have those things, you have statecraft, you have warcraft, you have all these different elements, and I'm not too sure that they understand what statecraft actually means. And, can I just also say that the other thing that really, really I just loved to bits today was because, you guys know, and I think a lot of people know now, that I'm not that physically able anymore. And so I was genuinely worried about all the crowds and whether or not I might fall over or whatever might happen. And yet when I got there, I was shepherded through a very large crowd by the wardens. The manaakitanga and the way that they look after you was incredible. And that's a reflection of how Māori are responding, not only to the King's death, but that's how Māori respond to things in general. It's like Cyclone Gabriel when the marae gets open, even though other marae just down the road have been completely inundated, or the Christchurch and Kaikoura earthquakes where the marae's opened and anybody was given a feed, anybody was given a bed to sleep on. And so I think New Zealanders are beginning to really, really now reflect on, hang on, these people, our neighbours, our brothers, our sisters, many of whom have grandchildren, mukapuna, and so on to Māori in their whānau now, are reflecting on this saying, well, is this actually how we treat people that treat us so well?